Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. We are here today with our Friday review. This is my opportunity to bring together a whole lot of different topics, updates from the private practice, what we have going on with Equilibrium Nutrition, some of my favorite brands and different products that I use myself. I'll be going over a little bit of organic gardening today, some basically canned foods that you can keep in your home, some research coming to you as well on air pollution and depression, another one on milk and actually its relation to aging or anti-aging, and a new test that we may be bringing you this fall if it all comes together. So really excited about that. I always start off the show with essentially what we have going on this week over at Equilibrium Nutrition. You know, Equilibrium Nutrition is the company that essentially I founded when I took my Boston private practice that I've been doing for many, many years. And I said, I want to bring what we are doing digitally. I want to bring it to people all around the world. Well, that started with just the US and then the US and Canada, then the US, Canada, and UK, and then some of Europe. And we expanded out. And now we deliver to, I think, almost 30 different countries around the world. And it's an amazing job my team has done logistically to get these packages now to even people in Australia on literally the other side of the world in just 5 to 7 days. So super exciting that we're able to do that. And of course, I like to be able to always offer you some of my favorite things and things that I actually use and have been using for years myself for my private practice. Well, this week we're giving away 2 bottles of our daily fruit and vegetable blend unflavored. This is simply 22 organic fruits and vegetables and superfoods that have been juiced, dehydrated, basically taking out all the sugar, essentially all the carbs, leaving you with the phytonutrients of a rainbow of superfoods. And that gives you the ability to take in a whole lot of different fruits and vegetables and superfoods that you typically would not do on a daily basis. So it covers a lot of those bases from the reds, the greens, the purples, the blues, the oranges, the yellows of a lot of vegetables that you may not be eating. So great product. We have the crisp apple and we have the unflavored. The unflavored really is simple. You can mix it with water. You can mix it with a smoothie. You can mix it with a nut milk, whatever you like. We're giving away 2 free bottles over $1.99. And the reason we're doing that is that we want you to share a bottle. So we want you to share a bottle with your family, with friends, with, if you're taking care of a parent, get them more good nourishment for their body, right? So 22 organic fruit, vegetable, superfoods. I mean, how much healthier would people be if they took all of this in? Our products don't contain any fillers, our greens. And, so that's the thing is like we don't add anything extra to it. There's no extra weight to it. So you're actually getting the highest amount per scoop that you could possibly get for a greens, and very, very different than a lot of greens powder. You see actually how much you're getting, and you see how deep green-blue that color is when you mix it, even just shake it up with water. It's incredible. So that's 2 bottles free on purchases over $1.99 at equilibriumnutrition.com. And we also launched a brand new product called Alkalizing Vitamin C Capsules. Alkalizing Vitamin C powder is one of our favorites and most popular for a very long time. It's part of our immunity daily protocol, that along with zinc and along with vitamin D. Super simple, right? All of these things now proven by research, always have been proven by research, and now just kind of coming up every single day in the news of how important they are. Well, some people, they want to take their vitamin C on the road to travel with. Really easy. You have 3 capsules a day of your alkalizing vitamin C. And it's that simple. You can, of course, do 6 if you'd like, but the truth is that you're going to get a good 1.5 grams. Actually, you're going to get about just over 1 gram in 3 capsules per day. So this will last you a full month at 1 gram a day. And then, of course, if you wanted to double that dosage, you can simply take 2 at a time, 3 times over the day, and that would work as well. Totally up to you how you want to take it. They're great for travel, just like our daily fruit and vegetable blend comes in a powder. Well, it also comes in capsules. This is by your request, and we've always done our best to try to accommodate. All right, so that's what's going on over at Equilibrium Nutrition. One thing I'd love to update you on is that we are still working with multiple labs now to provide COVID-19 antibody testing, hopefully this fall for at-home tests. Currently, there are no approved at-home lab tests. That means there are no FDA-approved at-home lab tests. We're working with one company right now that's looking to do a dried blood spot. So it'd basically be a card that, just like our food sensitivity test, you ship in and you'll get your results hopefully within just about 72 hours. That's what they're looking to do. We're working with another company with actually a disposable lab that's a lot like an at-home pregnancy test, where you'll be able to add a blood drop to that, which will be almost instantaneous. They say they have the technology. Of course, we will never bring you a lab without all the scientific data backing it up. Right now, the best way that you can do this is with a serum-based test, basically a blood draw. It's too inconvenient for most people. That's the truth. And then the nasal swabs you have to do that in person. And the other thing is that they're too invasive as well for most people, and they're just not going to do it. So what we want to do is, at least for this fall, is, again, only if it's FDA approved, only if it's good to go and it's on the up and up and it's backed by data, that we are going to ship these to be able to ship these to people at cost. That means whatever it costs us, we will get that lab to you, and we'll probably pick up the shipping as well. So, that's really our goal, is to be able to be on the front lines of really doing our best to help people. So if they already have their labs and they want to test themselves because they're going to be meeting up with parents or whatever it might be, or they got sick and they want to see if that was COVID-19, well, then you can lab test, right? So what we're doing right now internally is we're actually doing blood draws. We're going to start those up within the next couple of weeks, and we're going to be doing the blood spot along with it so that we can help the lab actually correlate the serum draw, which we know is FDA approved, and then check that against the blood spot test to make sure that those always come out 100% accurate. These are things that we look to do as a functional medicine company. These are things that we do that's very different from a lot of companies out there that there's nothing wrong with that, but they're more like marketing-based companies, and they're more like big Silicon Valley funded companies. We're not that. We're a true private practice that works to help people virtually all over the world. And if we can ship these all over the world, this will be absolutely a game changer. Again, Equilibrium Nutrition does not own any of the labs. We work with the very top-rated CLIA labs. We don't just choose the labs that, a lot of practitioners do based on promotions or whatever it is. No, we pick it up based on which are the ones that a client's actually going to do at their home that's convenient, that they can do, and that gets the best results. So if a new lab comes around and everybody's kind of promoting it, we don't. Because what we do is we base things on clinical practice, not marketing purposes. So just always know, a lot of people ask me, why don't you promote this test? Well, that test has only been around for a couple of years. And that test is not by one of the top CLIA labs, which means that we're probably not going to use it, because there are better tests that we're using right now. Why would we switch just because this one's becoming more popular? Because a lot of practitioners they like the marketing behind it. It looks more slick. Well, we don't care about the slickness of a product. What we care about is that it works, that it's efficacious, right? That's what matters, because we're helping real people. This really does matter. A lot of people, I don't want anybody to ever lose track of what we're trying to do. We're trying to help people get well, trying to help them lose weight, trying to help them live longer. And we're doing that through the best of state-of-the-art science, and we're cutting no corners at all. All right, so that's that. I will definitely keep you updated on this for sure. There's no lab yet that's able to do this. You might have seen things like, we're coming out with this and we're coming out with that. Well, they were, but all of it's been pulled back, all right? And so that's not a bad thing. You always want to hold back on all these scientific things until you know for sure that the results, as I said, was efficacious, that you're getting what you need to see. All right. Next up are some product reviews. I'll get to my home gardening one in a moment, which I definitely will be encouraging everyone to participate in. But I got asked, it was either on a weekend Cabral house call or by one of my IHPs, and I'm always answering questions, but again, I never know where it's posted. It seems that I've never given you my best brands for sardines. And you might say, why are you talking about sardines? And it's because sardines, again, this is from a clinical practice. I have never seen a food move the needle more on an omega-3 test than sardines. So a lot of people saying, do I have to supplement? Do I have to supplement? You don't have to supplement with omega-3s if you're eating high omega-3s foods 4 times a week. At least 3 times a week, but 4 times a week is going to be the number that's going to definitely move that needle. Okay? So I've given you those 5 foods before. You definitely want to check out my previous podcast on omega-3s, why they're so beneficial. But I've only seen wild salmon, sardines, anchovies, mackerel, and trout move the needle. And they should be wild. That's ideally what it is. Now, the most convenient, the easiest is simply canned sardines. Now, if you can the sardines in a 100% extra virgin olive oil, there isn't going to be that degradation of the can itself as well. So that's a good thing, right? Okay. So the other thing is you want to look for wild caught. Wild caught, ideally in 100% extra virgin olive oil. A lot of people ask, well, do they have higher histamines? Yes. All age-fermented and smoked foods typically have higher histamines. So if you're worried about histamines, you might want to go with skinless, but you'll get less omega-3s. And if you're worried about histamines, don't buy the smoked version, okay? I actually don't prefer and recommend the smoked version. Anything smoked can have a little bit more carcinogens too. So I say stay away from those ones. Here's 3 great brands that you can look for. I'll link them all up today. I'm going to make this really easy because I've got a bunch of stuff to link up today. So if you head over to StephenCabral.com/1568, StephenCabral.com/1568, I'm going to link everything up there. Wild Planet is one of those brands. Seasons, I hadn't seen this one before. Seasons is another brand that will sell wild caught and extra virgin olive oil as well. And then there's one more brand that I had never seen before either. And it's called King Oscar. I have never heard of this brand, nor have I ever seen them before. But the brand that I've seen before is called Crown Prince. Hard to find their wild caught, but they do have it. Just want to let you know that. There are also some smaller boutique brands. For example, in Boston, there's a store called Formaggio. And in that nice specialty shop, they actually get imports from all over the world. They have a really nice Portuguese-based brand. The name's escaping me right now. And those are all wild caught and in an extra virgin olive oil as well. Really, really nice. So these aren't the only brands. The Crown Prince, just difficult to find the wild caught, but you can find it. But the wild caught, for sure, Wild Planet, easiest one to find in your local store. Seasons, King Oscar, I'm going to link them all up right now. I've never had the Seasons or King Oscar, but I can vouch for the Crown Prince, the Wild Planet, and the Portuguese brand. All fantastic. Easy, great source of calcium as well. People are like, how can I get calcium without drinking milk? Well, sardines is one of those. So there you are. I will link those up. Again, you can purchase them right online. They're also one of those foods that last a while, right? We're talking more than a year. So you can get these, you can stock up on them, kind of put them away, and that can be part of your pantry if you ever find yourself in a situation like this again where you can't go to the grocery food store, things are sold out, etc. Well, buying a 12-pack of these, you can feed a family of 2 to 3 with one can. It's not a ton, but you're still going to get about 20 grams of protein, 15, 20 grams of protein each. So that's pretty fantastic. You can definitely eat a can at one sitting if you're hungry, but you can split a can between 2 people, each get about 3. Really nice. So simple, easy protein source. So there you have it. All right. Next up is going to be, I've gone over my kind of planters before. So you can definitely check those out. I did a whole podcast on them. I did a Friday review. So if you want to go to StephenCabral.com/podcasts, all you need to do is scroll down the page just a bit to the search box. And if you look for Grownomics, you can just type in Gronomics, Grownomics. That's the elevated garden beds that you've probably seen Instagram photos of on my account. They're 2 feet by 4 feet, and they're 30 inches deep, which means you can actually plant some decent-sized items in there as well. We even grew carrots last year. They weren't obviously the longest carrots, but that's okay. And these are really nice because it keeps all the chipmunks that we have up here in Maine and the squirrels from eating all of our food off beds that would basically be along the ground. So I used to recommend a soil called Black Gold Organic Soil. Still a good brand. Nothing wrong with it at all. Remember, I don't recommend bad brands and then take it back. It's still a good brand. The new brand that I'm using is called Fox Farm Organic Soil. So that you can actually get delivered in bags. It takes quite a bit, but you can get these delivered in really big bags, and it's called Fox Farm Organic Soil. I'm going to link that up here today as well. And then also, if you have like a local nursery or a local small farm, we're doing that up in Maine as well. We're having a local small farm actually deliver us a good amount of organic soil because we're actually going to do some more beds for planting. So they're going to deliver it, and we get to support a local farm as well, which is really nice. And they're an organic farm, organic small farm, so that's what we do. And then, so here's the thing. There's a book called The Urban Farmer. Nice little book. I just read it. There's many books on urban farming, but whether you live in the city, whether you live in like suburbs and just have a smaller amount of land. Now you need some land, but in the city, let's say you have a roof deck. You can actually begin to create your own garden, and I highly recommend it. You would be shocked at how much food you can actually grow. So much so that you actually may need to give some away. It's really impressive. You can look up the Urban Farmer right on YouTube for his videos as well, but the truth is, you can easily grow microgreens. You can easily grow Swiss chard. We grow all sorts of different types of lettuce, Boston lettuce, Bib lettuce, romaine we've had. What else? We've grown kale, with celery, carrots, tomatoes. You can just grow lots of your own veggies, and it's really nice to be able to do that. We grow all our own mint. We grow all of our own basil for pesto. We grow herbs now, parsley. I even grew ashwagandha last year. It's pretty amazing. And it's really great to get your kids involved with it as well. So not only can you use it to feed yourself and, again, just more stuff. And you can freeze most of these things as well. So don't think that, you can't just freeze some of these things if you'd like to use them in the future. So a small little book, The Urban Farmer, kind of nice to read. The organic soil, you've got the Gronomics plant beds that you can use. And all of these things just simply start to make you a little bit more self-sufficient, and they get you more in touch with your food supply. So I can't recommend enough, whether you just have a roof deck in the city, whether you have a little backyard, you can carve out a little bit of space, and you can actually do kind of 4 little crops per square foot. So that means you could do 4 heads of lettuce in just essentially 1 foot by 1 foot. It's pretty fantastic. I didn't even think that you could use that small of a section, but actually you can, and you still get plenty of good nutrition for those plants. So excited to share that with you. That's what I'll be doing this spring right now. As we're talking about this, we're actually putting in all of our starters. So basically, you can grow your starters in your home. You can even buy starters from a farm, and then you pop them in your flower beds, and they are good to go. All right, last but never least, we're going to go over some research. I've got 2 great research studies for you today. The first one is on air pollution linked to depression and suicide. I'll read it to you right now. This is a study of research data from 16 countries by researchers at University College London, UK, published in Environmental Health Perspectives. Okay, so I'm going to read it directly to you. Very fine particulates from dirty air can reach the brain and potentially cause inflammation, nerve cell damage, and changes in stress hormone production, which can lead to poor mental health. People exposed to an increase of 10 micrograms per cubic meter in the level of small particles for a year or more had a 10% higher risk for depression than people not exposed to that extent. Researchers estimate that cutting pollution worldwide to the European Union's legal limit could prevent about 15% of the instances of depression and reduce cases of suicide. The World Health Organization estimates that 90% of the world lives with air pollution above recommended levels. I mean, this is serious stuff. If we could take away 1.5 out of every 10 cases, minimum, of depression and suicide because of air pollution and particulates in the air, how amazing would that be? And here's the thing. We don't always control the air that we breathe, right? But what have I said before? Always control what you can control. That's what I'm all about. I can't worry living in the city that I'm absolutely exposed to all sorts of different toxins. So what do? Please use whatever products you feel comfortable with. But I use my daily nutritional support. I use my daily fruit and vegetable blend. I use my omega-3s. I use my daily probiotic. I have my vitamin C. I have all those things. And then every 12 weeks, I do a functional medicine detox that lasts 7 days. And all of these things continue to clean out my system because I can't control the city of Boston. I can't control all the trains and the subway that go by. I can't control all the cars that sit there at red lights and all the smog is being spewed into the air. I can't control that. But what I can control is what I put in my body and the detoxes that I do. And remember, never let anyone tell you there's no such thing as toxins and there's no such thing that your body doesn't continue to clean these out. Remember, your body does the best job it can. But we have so many studies that show, what do we have here? Well, air pollution linked to depression and suicide. So just keep on keeping on, continue doing your research, living that healthy lifestyle, using your daily foundational protocols, doing the quarterly functional medicine detoxes from whatever brand you feel best, right? All right. Next up is another study on milk. And this one's out of, it is led by Larry Tucker, PhD. And the professor of exercise sciences at Brigham Young University in Utah, author of a study published in Oxidative Medicine and Cellular Longevity. Okay, so it says this: the milk you drink is strongly related to how you age. Reports, Larry Tucker. Past research has shown that longer telomeres, your chromosome end caps, are linked to longevity. A new study analysis of milk drinkers found that adults who consume full fat or 2% milk, you can add cream to this as well, have significantly shorter telomeres than adults who drink non-fat or 1% milk. Why? One possibility is that saturated fat triggers inflammation, changes your gut microbiome, and increases oxidative stress, all of which damage telomeres. Now, if you tuned into just this past, Wednesday show, 1566, you would see that, yes, polyunsaturated fats damage the cells of the body, but so does too much saturated fat, okay? So, again, we have to understand is that we're not calling good food, bad food, etc., but we do have to understand these things do affect the body. And yes, if you were to go with a raw, pastured, grass-raised, and finished cow, it's going to be much healthier, no doubt about it, than a soy and corn and antibiotic and estrogen-fed cow. There's no doubt about that. There's going to be higher levels of omega-6s. But also, just keep in mind, it's also just the saturated fat itself. Am I saying all saturated fat is bad? No, I'm saying too much saturated fat is bad. You can't just go wild with saturated fat. In general, you can't make your diet 70% fat. I keep trying to tell people that for no other reason except, again, I have no dog in the race except that a 70% keto-based fat diet is not healthy in the long term. Am I okay with it in the short term? In certain cases, yes. Am I okay with it in certain cancer-based cases and things like that? Yes. Am I okay with it for general population, especially women? No. Right? So that's why there is no one thing for everyone, but I can tell you this, loading up on bacon and pork and, a lot of full-fat milk is not ideal. Now, a small amount, yes, small amount could be okay. But you can also say you can go with sheep or you can go with goat, which is going to be a little bit less. You could also go with a nut milk variety, which a lot of people are doing as well. So just wanted to share that with you. Again, don't blame the messenger. I'm just the messenger. And so hopefully this has been helpful. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. As always, please do feel free to share this information with anyone you believe it could serve. And don't forget to tune in this weekend for our Cabral House Calls, where I answer our community's questions each and every Saturday and Sunday. Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.